So the forethought pretty much just gave me an insight as to what this book is going to be about. I liked how he told us that this is pretty much what white people don't know about what went down in the past, but also kind of in a gentle way. So I'm excited to read it. So chapter 1 was pretty much an outline and a basis for what the rest of the book will be about. How he started it, I thought was really powerful. How he talked about his first experience of realizing that he was different than others, and he said he was shut out from their world with a vast veil, like the white people's world, assuming. And I thought him starting off with that was super interesting. The audience, I feel like, is people like me who don't know much about the African American experience. Something I didn't know, or something that really stood out to me, was when he said, "To be a poor man is hard, but to be a poor race in a land of dollars is the very bottom of hardships." And him comparing, or him saying that to be a poor man is better than being like a poor race. How he compared those really like helped me kind of like mentally think about how crazy, like how hard it must be. And so, yeah, I thought that was really powerful. So chapter 2 is a pretty hefty chapter, both part 1 and 2, but the main message that I got from this was the Freedmen's Bureau. After the Civil War, they created this after many bills and such for freedmen and refugees so they could have a chance. Pretty much something that a quote, it was kind of towards the beginning, I think, that stood out to me was when they said, "And now suddenly, violently, they came into a new birthright at a time of war and passion in the midst of the stricken and embittered population of their former master." And it just got me thinking about how would that, like, people, they only knew slavery their whole life, and so going into having freedom, like, that's a whole new lifestyle, and just how they even went about that would be insane. The pros of it was they gave them schooling, no forced labor, but the cons were what he said stood out to me was when he said it failed to begin establishing goodwill between ex-master and slaves. So there was many pros, also cons to this. I think it's a pretty powerful chapter though. Chapter 3 for me was a little bit harder to understand, but I think something that really stood out to me, a quote that he said, was when he said, "Storm singly together as men, they said, not as slaves, as people of color, not as Negroes." And white people still at this time didn't respect them. It was a trend to refuse them their rights to vote, to have jobs, to work. And so that's when Booker T. Washington came in, and he pretty much said, we need to not be focusing on those rights right now. We need to be focusing on education and industrialization, and to become and gain the respect. And so he made the first college, I think it was, I don't know if it was the first college, but he made a really popular college for people, and he had the 3 paradoxes that was for his career. But there was groups that didn't like him as much, and then there were groups that honored him, saw what he was trying to do, and those were the groups that I feel like, in my opinion, saw kind of the long run, like the long part of it, whereas the groups who didn't, I think just saw the now I want to vote, now I want these rights, whereas they knew it would be a process.